talking. Hello.
Yeah, so I started the per-scene audio script that he does, and we didn't have any sound for the first 2 minutes of the video because when you start it, you're not supposed to close it, but I closed it.
Oh, cool. All right.
Do we want to do a
Well,
restart, or?
nope. We'll just.
All right, welcome back to Content Complete Presents.
God damn it.
Content Complete, the podcast. Oh my god, this is the worst. This is a train wreck.
Uh,
I'm Spencer. This is Fistcake. We have no Matt here, as you can
Matt's
obviously
gone.
tell.
Matt, why did you forsake us? No. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
But we're here. We're gonna start with what we played this week. I'm sorry, Fistcake. Could you just turn that shit around?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, I'll start with the top of the list here, which is a game that you played a lot of on Saturday called Into the Breach. And then you
bad at
say,
that game.
yeah, it is really hard to be good at the game when you first start off because everything is like, oh my God, please stop dying. Oh God.
Perfect. Oh, just like you said it last time.
Yeah, exactly. Word for word, tone for tone. But
Oh my god.
yeah, no, that is a pretty hard game, and like it's like pretty fun though too, because like every time like you learn something new, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he can just do that, and then have this guy go over here and counter those aliens, and then wahaha, I'm suddenly the best alien killer in the world.
Yeah, no, it's like your shit goes up and down in that game, right? So you're like, oh fuck, dude, I just did the craziest shit I've never, like, I'm a strategic master, and then you make one mistake and you lose the game.
Yeah,
Right?
you
It's
make
like,
one
no,
mistake.
you're not a strategic master. It was all an accident.
You make one mistake, and then you lose your entire grid defense. Everybody's dead. You have to start all over again.
Yeah.
Or like you go to the next island, and then there's like some new mechanic there that's like, oh, okay, well, oh boy, I had to learn how this works out.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to? How many islands have you unlocked?
I've unlocked 3, and I had to go
Okay.
on easy to do that. So
Gotcha. I probably should have done easy, but
yeah, I
I'm,
played on normal for a while, unlocked a second one, and then I was like, maybe I should just slow down and like just play on easy just to get like a handle of the game. And so I played on easy for a little bit. And my first try on easy, I got to the third island,
oh,
and
hey,
then
there you go.
and then I went back to normal for like the last little bit because it was close to the end of the stream. I'm like, I want to see if I can, because now that I've played this long playthrough on easy, going through all 3 islands, I did a couple of playthroughs, and then maybe I can go on normal and then see how that takes me. And I lost in the biggest way I've ever lost before, which is I lost all 3 of my people for
Oh,
the first time, and
that's new.
it was so bad that I couldn't pick somebody to go back in, because this game you like go back into a timeline thing every time you lose, because it's like a roguelike game. It's like a roguelike game.
it's like, but not quite. Like.
Yeah,
Double
it's a
likes.
like rogue game. But yeah, so usually you can pick one of your people that are still alive, even though you've lost, bring them back with you. But this time I lost all of them, and I had the same person that I've been bringing back every time I've played since the beginning. It was the first new person that I had ever found, and I lost them. They were
they're gone.
yeah, they're gone, and it's so bad that when you lose all of them, it puts you back to the start screen of the game.
Oof.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Ooh.
fuck
Oh
you.
boy, you did real bad this time.
So
There's no saving in the world.
I just closed the game, and I'm like, well, I was going to end it anyways. But,
Perfect timing on my part.
yeah.
I got to the 3rd island on normal after like 100 tries, and then when I finally got there, it's like, oh, because like each island has like a certain like special missions. Like the desert one, you can have like the terraformer where you're like, oh, you had to terraform these grids or whatever. But the ice one's like, oh, these AI that randomly attack cities and you, well, now you have to freeze them and protect them, but they're still going to try to attack you. So, good luck. It's like, well, okay. That's a bit rough. But yeah, I am pretty excited about that game. I'll probably play it some more. Might do a stream of it. I'm not for sure. It actually reminded me of another game I played this week, but not a huge deal there. Played some more Kingdom Come. Mostly doing side quests on that because, again, I think the main quest is still bugged out, and I'm just too lazy to try to fix that right now. So I'm like, I'll just do the quest where you have to go kill all the bandits and the Kumans and whatnot.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
Yeah, kill everybody. Oh, okay. Shink. So that's going. Not going very quickly, but it's going.
Yeah, I got you.
Maybe I'll try to troubleshoot the main quest sometime this week. I don't know. Actually, I played and finished the Fall today, which is like a
The Fall.
quick little. Yeah, it's like a short little side-scrolling point-and-click game, but has like shooting mechanics in it too. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's mostly a point-and-click adventure game
Gotcha.
where, like the beginning, the beginning minute of the game is you are a AI inside like a combat suit for a person that's inside.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like the AI controls the body in order to get help for the pilot, because basically you just fall onto this deserted planet or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And your mission's like, I have to get medical help for my human.
So
you just
help for my human.
Human. And it's a pretty fun game. It's got a good story to it. Got some interesting twists. And actually, the second game's already out. It came out last week, so I might get that and play through that as well. But it's one of those point and click games that like you have. It's like one of those that you basically have to like, okay, use every item on everything, and even if you do, you still miss one thing, and it takes you like 5 hours to figure it out. It's just like, Jesus. It never ended.
Those where it's like, it's crazy because as a viewer, it's part of the fun to watch somebody else do that. Like if you ever watch somebody play a point and click game, I know that Day9, he has two friends that he does. Mostly walking is what it's called, and they play point and click games together. That's the whole point of the series or whatever. We've talked about this before off camera, I think, but what's so fun about that is watching them be like, how does this go together with this? And they're like clicking and dragging stuff to just everything on the screen, trying to figure out how shit reacts, because sometimes the logical leaps that it takes is not even something that you could ever follow.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I like, it's a good game. I highly recommend it. And even like after having like, I had like look up a guide at one point. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do here to because at some point basically you're kind of like doing like a housemaid droid test thing where basically you're supposed to like clean up a house or whatnot. One of the tests is to soothe the baby from crying, and it's a robot baby.
Oh,
and
of course.
the way to do it is so complicated and weird that basically you have to trick the local fauna into doing something that would break some of the systems that tricks the baby into doing something else. It's just like, oh, okay. And like the hint they give you is like, what would a combat droid do to soothe the crying baby? I'm like, oh,
shoot it.
Well, I got a gun. I tried to shoot. That's like the first thing I did. And like, oh no, you can't do that.
What are you even thinking of? Combat droids aren't violent.
They're not monsters. Oh God. But no, like it just like you can't even like shoot it. It just goes right through. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, highly recommend that if you're into having like a quick little short point and click game about computers and shit. Also played like an hour of Pit People, which I really enjoyed. Wanted to play that on stream Saturday night, but the people chose differently.
It's so
damn
funny
you people.
I had evened out your voting on Twitter. And I was
did
like,
you?
Yeah, but by choosing Pit People, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do Pit People, right? And then something else happened, and then you just tweeted out, you're like, all right, well, the people have chosen, it's Monster Hunter. I'm like, what?
No. Yeah, it was like by 2 or 3 votes. I'm like, really? Okay, I'll play Monster Hunter again on stream. That's fine. But yeah, highly enjoy Pit People. I'll probably stream that at some point this week as well, because it's really funny. It's by the same guys who did Alien Hominid and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I had seen stuff on it when it was first, like, I don't know if it was being first released or if it was some kind of like beta build or something like that. I watched, I think it was Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox do a playthrough on it like a while ago.
Oh yeah, they released like the something, either a demo or a beta or something like a year ago, and then like
Yeah.
the final release came out like last week or this week, something like that.
Yeah, so
But
I
since I
mean,
thought that, I was like, "Yep, got it."
yeah, from what I saw from that, I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. Yeah, so I can't wait to play that. But cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like the beginning part, like where you're stormed by a bunch of people. I thought my guy was gonna die, and then I realized arrows aren't that big of a deal in the game. Apparently, I was like, oh, they're just gonna share with me all these arrows, but no, arrows do like a point of damage. Matthew on early spring break.
Yes, he's not able to make it to the podcast today, but thank you so much for coming in, USA Voyager.
Yeah, thanks, Voyager. So yeah, gonna play some more of that, and then of course I played some Monster Hunter last night.
How did that go?
Finally,
I wasn't able to watch all that.
Went okay. I found out before the stream that my game capture is my Elgato capture card is just completely dumb, so I had to figure out what's wrong with it at some point. So,
oh shit, that's like not even that old of a capture card either.
Yeah, it's not even a year old, I think. So I had to figure out what's going on there. I probably just have something like not all the way plugged in, or I don't know. I'll have to troubleshoot it. I'm sure there's some angry PC tech forum about it, like, oh, this thing is a piece of shit. It never works anymore.
Yeah.
But for the game itself, it went pretty well. Actually, I don't know if you remember. I think me and Matt did one. Yeah, we tried to get like eggs from a Rathian like a month ago. Yeah. Well, I managed to solo that quest by myself. Wow. Finally.
Nice.
Yeah, because I got like an upgraded charge blade. I was like, okay, let's go. And so then
did you just like kill the thing versus just trying to sneak out, or?
Well, yeah, I thought like, well, I'll try to like grab it and run, and then of course that didn't work because it found me. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just try to kill you. And I managed to kill it with like 20 minutes to spare.
Nice.
And then so I spent like the next 15, 20 minutes just figuring out how to get the fucking egg to the fucking camp.
How do you get the egg to the camp? Because it's like so complicated.
Dude, like the scout flies don't compensate for the fact that you have something in your hand. They're like, no, you go through here. I can't go through there. There's a tiny hole. I have a giant egg. It's not going to work out, scout flies.
Flies. Listen.
Flies. Do the math. Just do the math, flies. But no, but essentially you just have to like take the longest route possible to get to the camp. And even then, like at some point I was worried because I ran into like a herd of like smaller animals. I'm like, okay, well I'm not attacking them, so I should be fine.
Yeah.
But I guess I got too close to them and they started like roaring and stuff. I'm like, oh God, get away from me. And so I had them like chasing me all the way to the camp while I'm carrying this giant egg. I'm like, oh God, please make it stop. Oh Jesus. But finally finished that quest. Finished all the 4-star optional quests. Got through most of the 5-star optional quests.
Nice. What happens when you just finish everything?
Well, we're not even like through that second half of the wait. Like we're now that Matt's being that Zora Magdaros or whatever.
Yeah.
We're now in like the second half of the actual game. So probably once we go through more of that story, we'll probably unlock more quests. But I was just getting up to date on everything because
gotcha.
All these optional quests unlock like basically like all your side stuff. Like it unlocks more food for the canteen, unlocks the ability to like cultivate multiple items in your tree thing, bunch of stuff like that.
You know, I never thought about this, but actually trying to stream like a game with somebody, like the way you and Matt are doing it, actually I feel like is, or at least the idea of playing a game with somebody else, where you know, like, hey, wait for me to do the main story quest, right? That type of scenario, I feel like is actually maybe the best way you could do this type of stuff, because you can then just, okay, well, since so-and-so can't play with me right now, I'll just do all the side stuff. And just fill out the rest. If it's a game that has a lot of side quests, it seems to work out pretty well. Where then when you get together, you'd be like, all right, you know, do you need to do any side stuff? If not, let's just do the main story, and that's it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he did that. It sounded like to me like he did all the side quests off stream, which I guess that would make sense too. But he was giving me shit last time we played together. He's like, oh yeah, I had to do this quest again. Oh God, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just rushed through the story. I wanted to get done. I'm still not even done. Whatever. But yeah, so I hope we can play sometime this week, but I had to talk to him, blah, blah, blah. That's it for me. What did you play this week?
I played. Oh man, honestly, the list is like the smallest list. So we already talked about Into the Breach, but I played about 3.5 hours of that yesterday, and it's a lot of fun. It's the type of game where it's just almost in my alley of like games, because there's certain management games that I just seem to just get. This is not one of those. It's one of those where it's like half, right? Because like if it's like Banished, or if it's City Skylines, or if it's one of those types of games, so for some reason I can just get into a mode and just everything works and I understand stuff on like another level, which is awesome. Yeah. Like I feel really cool. I don't get enough time to play those games, unfortunately. But I remember when Banished had first come out, I was like, I think it was my second playthrough ever, and I had a town that I was able to create a situation where it was just on a loop, where I could just leave it alone for 20 hours, and it would be self-sustaining, and it would be able to survive through all the winters and everything like that, and it would just be fine. And I was just like, wow, like I don't know, like I just tapped something in my brain. This is not one of those games.
Yeah, this game has a lot going on with it, so I think that's part of the problem.
Well, every new area, they give you new stuff. So you're like, oh, well, we're in a new area. How much could they possibly change? And it's like, here's 3 new enemies. Here's a variation on a type of mine that you're used to that's totally different. Here's a variation on a secondary enemy that you're like the what is it? Those passive buff dot guys, the Scions, right? There's like 3 different versions of those. But when you first start out, you just get the one that heals them, or gives them extra health, and then you have the one that gives them armor, and then you have the one that gives them the ability to explode when they die. And so, and they just keep adding those on, and so you get used to like a formula, and then they change the formula. And I think part of the reason why I enjoy playing those other management games is because once you get a formula in one of those games, you can just continue to work on that same formula and make it work, right? In this, it's way more tactical and strategic, where you have to be adaptable.
Yeah, it sounds like you're more into like simulation games rather than like tactical simulation games. Like, oh, gotta maintain this, do that. It's not gonna like nothing's gonna different's gonna happen. Like in City Skylines, I'm sure not a whole lot of changes besides traffic rush, watch out, build a better road or something. You know,
it's all about optimizing, like getting from point A to point B and all that stuff. Yeah. So but this type of game,
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
No, I got you. Yeah, but this type of game, it's way more specifically like tactics, turn based, where there's a lot of variables, but I have a hard time with overthinking stuff, and I'll sit there. I sat there for like 5-10 minutes on a turn, just weighing all the options, and then still not knowing what to do.
Oh yeah, some of those rounds, they're pretty intense.
But I played that, and then we played we didn't play Into the Veil. We did Into the Veil and played Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma on Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
and maybe ended the game.
Might have done a whoopsies.
Might have done a whoopsies. So this Tuesday, it might be the last one. We got access to a room that we maybe shouldn't have so early.
Old Fist Cake just like saw a warning. I'm like, it can't be that bad. Oh God. Oh, okay. So, it's game. Oh, this is oops. Oh boy.
Yeah. 1 second here. I had to fix this dumb box. Where is it at?
No.
I forgot that I didn't change. Where is it? There it is.
Oh, the topic.
Yeah, the topic. I didn't change the topic. Games.
Games. Games.
Good. Okay. Games. All right. Anyways. On Monday, did we play anything on Monday? Oh, we did like I think we did. I played Slay the Spire or something. I'm trying to remember.
I think I had a work Monday. I don't think I streamed Monday actually, if I remember correctly. So.
Man, Matt usually fills in the gaps for these moments. So I have nothing. I don't know what we played on Monday, but on Friday we played Siege, and
I forgot about that.
Did pretty well. Did you watch that clip that I put in? Because I timestamped it to go to the point where that was important. but I clipped the whole like game.
Well, yeah, I saw you clip the whole game. I didn't watch it because I experienced
Yeah, you lived it, but I don't know,
So
sometimes it's fun to like go back and be like, oh yeah, wow, this was as crazy as it was. But yeah, so during the stream, we ran into a situation with a couple of kids, and there's a clip on the Discord. You should check it out because it's pretty funny. But mostly though, we had some pretty cool teammates come in because it was just you, me, and Coulter. Because Edge wasn't able to come in because he was sleeping. He slept for like 18 hours, is what he told me yesterday.
Jesus,
Did
he die or something?
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, I could have slept longer, but I had to get up eventually. I'm like, damn. And of course Matt couldn't be there. But we had some pretty cool teammates, and then towards the end of the stream, the teammates got worse and worse, and therefore we got worse and worse as a team.
Yeah, we're just too busy shitting on them rather than like actually trying like, okay, we should play. Nah, fuck it, shit on them. You had some good clips though; they're pretty funny.
Yeah. We have some good clips, and I need to go back and clip some more because there's some good moments.
Well, I couldn't actually hear you this time. What did you say? What was that?
No, but for real. No. Actually, this time for real though, I couldn't hear you.
That was pretty good.
Good.
Boy.
But
fucking
all right.
kids.
Let's move on to the first actual topic of the day because we've already wasted the first half of the podcast. I wouldn't call it wasted. Chatted through the first half. So. First things first, we got Rainbow Six Siege. Speaking of Siege, they are going to launch a new ban system to combat racial and homophobic slurs. So users could receive permanent bans for the worst offenses. So it's like, hey, we're doing the thing that we should have already been doing.
Yeah, it's also kind of hard. Like, it took League of Legends like years to actually get it down too. So it's just amazing that Rainbow Six Siege got to it within the first decade. So.
Yeah. Good on them, right?
Yeah, because the more of those, the better off we are as a society of video gamers. Like, apparently Overwatch needs this kind of stuff, or either Blizzard is just focused too hard on trying to combat every single thing. I don't know. It's like every other week, besides like unlocking new characters, I hear Overwatch like, man, we just got a bunch of assholes playing the game, and we're trying so hard to make them stop, but we just can't do it. And then Ubisoft over here is like, hey, we're going to ban people, 2, 7, 15 days, maybe for forever.
Oh, yeah.
If they talk shit. So, well, not
Which
talk
awesome,
shit, toxically.
Yeah, no, dude, yeah, because I know before we've been able to report them as toxic, but now it says those reports will, however, often lead to a faster resolution. So they'll look at each incident on a case-by-case basis, and it sounds like the new system will be able to identify hate speech automatically. When asked whether this was the case, a Ubisoft representative said the system will not be reliant on user reports. So we've already been able to report people, but now, I guess, are they just talking about what people type in the chat? Or...
I would imagine what they're typing and probably like some usernames, probably.
Yeah, because there's some usernames, man.
Oh yeah,
there are some usernames.
there are quite a few usernames. Oh boy, but what was I going to say? And also, yeah, like the stuff that you've reported before. There's also a possibility of doing a retro banning. Is that what they called it?
Yeah, I think retro banning. Yeah.
Where basically, if you've reported them before, they'll check into it now and do this new.
That seems like a whole fucking like a ton of work.
Well. Yeah, when you have I hate to be like the team that works on stuff like this, where you just have to hear the most hateful, disgusting shit.
Well,
like
also just
8-9 hours a day, 5 days a week.
That's true. Like, that's true. Yeah. Well, even then, just the amount of text that you have to go through and comb through all just the bullshit, just the mindlessness of this type of work. I definitely appreciate what these people are doing. That's what I'm trying to say.
People who work in whatever you would call this, I guess.
Quality control or
quality control, I guess. Whoever works in quality control and customer service, we do a salute for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on.
I also saluted.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, so they're doing this. That's good. I can't wait because people, it's we stream this game and stuff comes up and we're like, what the hell is this? and then we have to just like, all right, well, we're gonna ban them, and it just puts everyone in a position that's just not fun.
Yeah, so hopefully this works out pretty well, and then maybe Overwatch can look at this too and be like, well, we can try this too. I don't know.
Maybe we.
Meh.
Yeah, it's so weird because that's like the third thing I think of when I think of multiplayer games. Like if I were making one, that would be like, okay, now how are we gonna censor this shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or how do you combat it? If you start censoring people, then it's just going to be like, oh, but freedom of speech. Well,
Yeah, but I'm talking
nobody
about
cares.
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
cares
exactly.
about your freedom of speech when you keep yelling about how you bang my mom.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit when it's like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, a lot of online games will have like a filter you can put on, right? That will filter out negative words. And most games that have those, like League of Legends, you were talking about, they had the filter to filter out curse words and stuff like that, and hate speech, long before they had the ability to ban people, which I find is interesting. So the system could see it and know that they need to put stars in place of it,
Yeah.
but they didn't have a system in place to actually take action on that stuff. Which I guess maybe it requires a certain amount of nuance.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to put like a command that says, "Hey, when you see this string of text, when you see the fuck word, take out the uck."
Yeah.
But
star for star.
stars, nothing but stars. But yeah, so way to go, Ubisoft! You did it. Way to go.
Quality control. All right, so the next thing we got here, Prey Twitter. So the Twitter of the game Prey hints at an expansion set on the moon, and actually I cannot wait because Prey was such a good game.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like it just kind of like fell out a little bit, like Prey happened and then everyone played it and that was it. So the fact that it's going to be able to kind of come back into the public conscious and maybe more people will actually play the base game, I don't feel like enough people played it.
Now that like you say that, it kind of makes me think like Dishonored 2 was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Because Dishonored 2, you had the game, and it was like the biggest game for a month, and then it died, and then next year later, next year they released the Death of the Outsider. Then people were like, "Oh shit, Dishonored 2 is a game. I forgot about it. Fuck.
What? This exists?
Oh boy." And now it seems like they're doing the exact same thing for Prey, where I need to buy it for the PC so I can play this and. Yeah. But no, it looks exciting. The Twitter is just the tweet is just a gif of from the sign of Transtar and goes to the moon, and there's a text that says, "Do we really know what's out there?" Oh.
What's really interesting is like how for those of you who haven't played this game, I'm not going to tell you anything, but the way it ends, it's like how are they going to add on to this game? Is it going to be a continuance? Is it going to happen at a different time? How's this going to work?
Yeah, I think it might be like a different story altogether because it says like some people it says for sharp-minded Prey players, they may recall that there's a reference to the facility in the moon that's like in the deep crater on the lunar pole, permanently dark and surrounded by ice for kilometers.
Kilometers of ice.
Yeah, so I think it's probably just going to be a standalone story by itself. Probably not even having
just like its own kind of separate setting and everything like that, which is really cool. And I wonder if it were to be its own standalone story, then or at least tangentially related. I wonder if maybe there will be parts where since you're on the moon and you can see out to where assumedly the space station would be, which is where the game takes place, the base game, and maybe events on there will be visually accessible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm also. It might have. We might see those, and it probably starts off with like maybe something breaking off from there, and the aliens from there get to the. Well, no, I imagine the facility is probably working on the same technology, so I don't know. Maybe it's just
I'm really
same
interested.
thing, just different area.
Yeah, and it's called Death of an Outsider. So is that what it's called, or
no? That's for Dishonored.
Oh, this 2. Is it mentions Dishonored 2's standalone expansion. So we actually don't have a name for this yet. Then
no, nothing. It's just the tweet. Just that. It's like, hey, do we know what's going on out there? Do we really know?
It's interesting. The article calls Prey an immersive sim.
I mean, I guess technically, since you can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
like quite literally, like you can play however you want, you can upgrade your character however you want, you can do quests however you want, for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I never even thought of it as being an immersive sim, but knowing what we know about the whole rest of the game too, that also kind of makes sense. I wonder if that's like a little bit of
Oh yeah,
like a
technically.
double entendre, if you will. Like, ooh,
They got him with a technicality. Hey yo. And we
Cool.
already ruined the game for people. Oh shit. Gonna bleep out this
we didn't
entire
say anything.
Well, alright.
We didn't say anything.
So what about this ESRB doing about loot boxes? Is that a thing? What's going on there?
Yeah. So apparently the ESRB they're trying to take some kind of action for loot boxes, and by basically stating, hey, if you have loot boxes, make sure that there has to be a label on the game now that says in-game purchases. Right now, something that popped in my brain right now is okay. They actually do cover this. Good. How this will be covered on digital like stores, and they do say that a new notice will begin appearing on any game that offers extra digital purchase options, right, on the actual boxes. But how is this going to affect in-game stores, right? Are in-game stores still going to be doing it the way they do it, which is, I think Steam has like a tag or something that shows that it has in-game purchases or whatever, but is this just for physical items?
I imagine they'll have to. I mean, I think in this article they're specifically talking about physical items, but let's see. But I mean, like to put on the digital storefront, it wouldn't be that much harder. It would just. I mean, I think even the PlayStation Store already has something that says like in-game purchases or something like that, something to that value or whatever.
So I guess in a way this is just the ESRB just catching up with the digital marketplace that's already in play, that's already existing, because I know that I've been seeing this type of stuff, and I know Apple started doing that with their apps like a month or two ago, and so I mean it's good, but kind of something that this article brings up is herein lies the problem. It covers everything. So the Far Cry 5 season pass, the Prey soundtrack, and anything additional that comes with the game is under the digital purchases notice that currently applies to digital mobile games in the Microsoft Store, but also covers with the in-game purchases thing. So in-game purchases, it's a really broad statement. Which sucks because then you don't know that the game is not likely to have a loot box necessarily. It's just in response to that, if the game doesn't have any of this other stuff, but they do have loot boxes, then they have to have that statement. But it's just not specific enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can only put so much text on those boxes anyways, and actually the ESRB released a quick little 30-second advertisement about like, hey, we're doing this now. But even after they said okay, now it has extra stuff like in-game purchases or violent online nature or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And they're like, and if you're ever confused about it, just sit down and play with your kid. Play the game with your kid and check it out.
It's actually
kind of
smart.
Paraphrasing here, but
it's actually super smart. Like, hey, if you're ever wondering kind of what your kid's running into, literally just play the game. And most adults, when they run into anything that includes money, it's like a huge red flag for an adult, whereas a kid would be like, oh, I guess that's just the requirement, Yeah,
exactly. Like, oh, well, I just need to spend some money to get this level. Okay, there we go.
Sounds good. Seems legit, right? But
$100? I don't even understand a dollar. I don't even understand the worth of $1. I'll give him 100. Take 500. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Mom, can I have a credit card? Yeah, exactly.
What for? Never mind, just take it. But yeah, no, they just essentially we can't. Well, this is me interpreting from the video, I guess, at this point. It's we can't do a whole lot right now. So we'll let you know there's in-game purchases, but you should probably just either watch your kid play the game or at least play the game with your kid or something. Because at some point when this is a whole thing about parenting now. I'm not gonna get into it. Just to fucking.
Just pay attention.
Don't blame everybody else for your kids' problems. Come on.
Yeah.
Just check it. Take 5 minutes out of your day. I know they're probably annoying you. They probably ask you thousands of questions. And you probably don't even want to hang out with them. But if you don't have $1 million card charge to your credit card, just play a game or two with them. Check it out. And don't buy Battlefront 2 there. Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. There is a portion of the article that does cover where they're like, I'm sure you're all asking why we aren't doing something more specific to loot boxes. And he's like, I'll tell you, we've done a lot of research over the past several weeks and months, particularly among parents. And what we learned is that a large majority of parents don't know what a loot box is. And even those who claim they do don't really understand what a loot box is. So it's very important for us not to harp on loot boxes per se, but to make sure we're capturing loot boxes, but also other in-game transactions. So I guess they're justifying the very broad terminology by stating that, hey, parents just don't know what this shit is, which I can kind of get behind because it's smart, where it's like, assume that people are dumber than they are, so that you also get the dumb people too, right?
Yeah,
like, it's a good strategy to like cover yourself. At the same time, like, people should be educating themselves anyways, and you should also, if you're the ESRB, you should provide people with the opportunity to be educated on what things mean in games.
Yeah,
because games are going to be using that terminology anyways. If the parents open up the game and they open up the thing and it's like, oh, loot box, right? But the game's not going to like directly tell you what a loot box is. It's just going to kind of give you a representation of what their loot box is. So
yeah.
I would like to see. I don't know. I've never been to the ESRB website, but it'd be nice, that if there isn't already, for them to push towards having some kind of what is it? Educational materials of some type for that type of stuff for parents who might not know.
Yeah, and I was about to say, like, maybe they should have like a tiny little, not a booklet, like maybe like a single piece of paper that comes along with a game. But then I remember, like, most people probably are buying used copies of games, and everybody knows like the first thing to go are like the discount codes, the DLC codes, and all the other useless papers in the game. So never mind.
And the main booklet for the game, the one that goes over how to do stuff.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, they take. I mean, I don't know if they even have those anymore.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
have changed so much since the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, most games nowadays, it just seems like they just give you the fucking game. Like, here you go. It's just a box with the disc or something in it. Whatever.
You want a cool instruction manual?
On the disc, you gotta download half of it anyways.
Fuck you. You don't get an instruction manual anymore. Just play the game. You'll figure it out. Stupid.
Oh, yeah. Our tutorials are the best tutorials.
We love them. We love them so much.
All right. So we got a couple more things here. Let's go over real quick Ubisoft. So Ubisoft bought out Blue Mammoth Games and 1492 Studio, and it's two smaller studios that's what's the name of the studio again? Blue Massive? Is it?
Blue Mammoth.
Blue Mammoth. Okay. Yeah, Blue Mammoth Games. They've made Brawlhalla, and then the other one is a mobile studio. And it's interesting, kinda, right? Because it's just another couple of what do you call it when companies buy out another company? I don't know.
Acquisitions?
Acquisition, yeah, another couple of acquisitions, and we've been seeing a lot of these recently, which is really weird. Where bigger studios are just slowly just grabbing smaller studios, and just like enveloping them, and they're like, okay, squeeze out one more game, and then you're dead now. So I really hope that doesn't happen, because I've heard good things about Brawlhalla, and it has been growing, like you were saying off stream. So I'm curious as to what this means for Brawlhalla specifically, or if there's going to be additional work getting put into the existing game, or whether it's going to be going into a new game.
I think I can't remember off the top of my head how Ubisoft works, but usually they're not the type to kill off studios and whatnot. That's more of an EA thing. But Ubisoft has bought a lot of studios, though. Like, I don't know if you've seen the new trailer for the Wreck-It Ralph thing, but it's essentially the there's a meme of it already, so everybody probably knows what I'm talking about. Where there's a bunny just trying to shove a pile of pancakes into its mouth, and like the bunny's like as round as a fucking like giant beach volleyball or beach ball,
Yeah.
And it's just like Ubisoft is a bunny, and just all these studios, all these companies is the
are the little
are
pancakes.
the pancakes. Yeah, just trying to shove in a little bit more. And EA is just the one that buys the company and shoots in the back of the head once it doesn't sell 1 billion copies and doesn't give their company president a mansion and 5-star hotels everywhere. I don't know what rich people do actually, so I'm going to stop that allegory there.
You know what's crazy? Okay, this is kind of a tangent, but we have time. Apparently, for business class on the plane, right? Because I'm a lowly commoner. I don't know about these things, right? Business class, if you get it, especially the one I heard about was for British Airways. They have a special business lounge where they have free pour alcohol, just alcohol available to you. They have free food, and it's like hot cooked foods, like good food.
Yeah.
And if you're in there for a couple hours in between plane changes, right, you're just in there with like other business executive people, just like having a drink, eating some food, like amenities fully taken care of, and it's just this special lounge that people who pay for business get, and they get their stuff, like their traveling stuff, to them as they exit the plane. They don't have to go wait at the baggage claim because apparently they're too good to wait at the baggage claim because they got business class. Yeah,
I wonder how much their companies pay for that a year, though.
Oh,
I mean, that has to be a lot.
A business class ticket is like $1,000.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. So. Sure,
but yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Speaking of business and rich people. Lounges, they're a thing apparently.
Oh, that was the connection you were making. I thought you were trying to somehow go into the next topic with that. I'm like, not quite.
The next topic's about Democrats. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's not a business. Democrats are not a business. Oh boy.
No,
but it'll be nice to see what Ubisoft does with this. Probably just silently own the company, and then
this what it
2 years
like.
from now, 2 or 5 years from now, when they just kill it off, but Ubisoft. We never saw this coming, you bastards. No.
What? Yeah, especially because they're so positive about it, and it's the same thing that we see every time a smaller company who seems to have some type of indie rep, when they get bought out, they always say the same shit, right? It's like right here they have one thing goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, right? Oh yeah, it goes without saying. We've worked very hard the last 3 years to earn your trust that Brawlhalla will always be free to play and never pay to win, right? And it's like
I just noticed something. This sounds exactly what Humble Bundle said about when IGN bought them out.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's almost the exact same thing. Like, well, we're so excited that IGN bought us. Oh boy. Well, we won't betray your trust now. So we've been working on this trust for years. We won't change anything now that IGN bought us. It's like, okay.
Well, there's a certain level of paranoia, right? Because like it's so good for your company to get bought and supported like that, right? Because then you have all of a sudden the amount of opportunities for you are just endless in comparison to what you had before. And especially if you're just getting enough to get by to maintain what you had going. But a lot of times for the smaller companies, especially for a game that I think they've been slowly just kind of still developing, and it's free to play. It's hard to continue to be like, okay, I'm just going to continue to do this thing, and if you're not growing like say League of Legends grew, then you will have this is your only other good option, to be able to actually have some breathing room,
Oh, I can finally pay all the people that work for me. Okay, yeah. Can you buy me twice? Can you?
Yep.
No. Okay.
Please.
Please.
But no,
oh God.
Because from the developer's perspective, great, they have all these options. But then they're like, wait, no, our indie cred, right? Because apparently, this, their indie cred and just the fact that the company that bought them was Ubisoft, and Ubisoft has its own list of haters, right? So they're like, well, guys, they bought us, but like nothing's changing. It's just now they're giving us money and stuff, and we're giving them profits. It's got to be super stressful.
Oh, I imagine, yeah. But I'm sure. I think they'll be fine. Ubisoft, again, not really known for killing people off super quick. So
yeah, they're a bit slower with the knife.
Yeah, it's like the old medieval torture where they just basically stab somebody with a rusty knife and just let them die, whereas EA has the decency to shoot them in the back of the head.
Exactly. All right. So, Fisk, you want to tell everyone about this Democratic bill about net neutrality?
Well, I'm going to tell you, don't worry about it because it's probably not going to happen. But not even like being like a cynic or anything. It's just it's a bill trying to repeal the FCC's Internet Freedom Order, and it's being introduced by Democrats, Senator Ed Markey. But the thing is, the bill has support from 49 Democrats, all the Democrats, and one Republican. Which, if a TLDR, most of the higher government right now in America is run by Republicans, and everybody sticks with their party. Hey, Corin, how's it going? Welcome to the last 5 minutes. Essentially, they're using the thing called a legal tool called the Congressional Review Act to effectively undo the FCC's vote, which gives the blah, blah, blah. But essentially, it passed on like the first level, but the second level is run by the House, which is run by the Republicans. And after that, it has to be run by Donald Trump, which I don't know if most people know this. He appointed the Ajit Pai as the FCC chairman.
Yeah.
So why would he say, oh, you know what? This raises a good point. I guess the guy that I hired to do this thing was wrong and we should do this. So,
yeah.
So, it's happening. And I guess if you want to, you can go
hope.
in, tweet, hope, do what you can. But, unless Donald Trump has like a Grinch moment where his heart grew 3 sizes that day, I don't think.
Well,
I think it's going to happen.
Net neutrality aside, which is the only political, like besides people talking about loot boxes, the only other political thing that pertains to video games that we can talk about. But he did have that weird moment with the gun law stuff apparently recently, where he was
he's like blaming video game. Yeah, we kind of talked about that last week, I think.
Yeah, he was blaming video games, but I'm talking about even besides that. Like he gave a speech where he was talking about how maybe there should be more regulation for stuff, and he was talking about how maybe there should be more of this and more of that, and he lost a lot of support from like the NRA and stuff because he was saying, I'm not like praising him, right? But I'm just like, he is a super wild card. You never know what he's gonna do.
That's true, I guess. So I mean,
he flips back and forth so much.
So there might be hope if it somehow gets past the House.
I think there's hope. There's hope that there's a hope, but in the end, it'll probably like get so far and then fail, and then the next time they try, it'll go through. I feel like that's my assumption, because it's going to be like, we don't like this because of this, and then it's going to get brought down, and people are going to be mad because it was shut down last minute, and then they're going to try to do it again, and maybe it'll have more support that time. But,
yeah, I imagine whoever's going to be the next president, that's probably going to be the first move, just to kind of get like a
order, bam, net neutrality, let's go.
Or like that's going to be their stand or their slogan or whatever. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of people. Yeah, campaign. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of people like, we're going to stop the Freedom Act or the Internet Freedom Act thing. Like, oh, you just got all the voters from the people who usually probably didn't even vote to begin with. Way to go!
Oh, yay! We win.
Yeah. Woo. So yeah, look out for that. Look out for the news in a month or so, or however long it takes for that to get through to not happen. So
I gotcha. Let's take the next couple of minutes, and you had another thing that you had sent me. It says, how long are you supposed to tolerate a game before it gets good? And I wanted to, first off, why did you include this? And secondly, it's actually kind of interesting as far as a discussion topic.
Well, I included it in case we had nothing to talk about for like the last 10 minutes of the show or whatnot. Because Matt sometimes does that too. You'll have a good topic to talk about if we run out of stuff. And I happen to see this on the same threads where you get the rumor mills of the video games and whatnot.
Ooh, the rumor mills.
The rumor mills. Oh, all these new fighting characters. Who are they going to be?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is a really good question. And the person who asked about it was like, yeah, I just kind of had this question because like I watched my friend basically go through denial about some game, and I was just wondering like, oh, it's Metal Gear Survive. That's right.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear
People
Survive.
were talking about they're like, how long does it? So basically, how long do you play a game before you decide it's good or not? And it depends. Like, I guess like people like you and me and Matt who have like experience with like RPG games and whatnot,
Yeah.
we're used to like accidentally spending like 40 hours and not even getting through like the first village of the area. It's like, oh,
Right. Yeah.
when did all this time go? But you're still having fun and whatnot.
Yeah,
It's
so
just like,
it's a weird question, right? Because it's the opposite of what I expect. Because usually it's how long you're supposed to tolerate a game before you're allowed to give up.
yeah,
That's usually the question I'm asking myself. I'm never asking myself how long am I supposed to tolerate a game before it gets good, because that's usually when like a friend will say, hey man, you should try this game. No man, but like the first 10 hours it's a little bit weird, but like later on it gets good, right? But like, there's that whole argument. But
yeah.
in my experience, it's always been how long, like how many boxes can I tick before I'm like, fuck this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have like a specific like a checklist or anything, but like I feel
checklist.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you just feel it. It's like, I didn't like that. Oh god, that was painful. Oh, I
Yeah.
really don't want to do this for another 100 hours or
Yeah,
however many hours.
Yeah, and
Even
that's the way
minutes.
that what is it? Like Shadow of War was, and
Mm.
Shadow of Mordor, where it was like
Oh god, I
it
forgot
just
about
weighs
Shadow
on
of
you,
War.
right? It's just like,
Oh,
how much, uh, how much more do we have to take?
Mm.
Just
I
and
guess
it's all these little things.
I guess like a quick hindsight thing. I guess I probably should have saw my disappointment for Shadow of War coming with the Shadow of Mordor ending.
What was weird is I think we totally did. We totally saw the disappointment coming, but there was that hope because there was all these other good things that were added to the game. Right?
Man,
And
and
then,
actually
they had some bad stuff that they then got rid of. So it's like, oh well, it was bad, but no, it's not bad anymore. And so you're like, okay, well maybe I will try out the game. And then it was like, this game's actually still trash.
I mean, the ending actually wouldn't have been that bad if you didn't have to do the same repetitive thing that takes like a half an hour to an hour each time you do, like 10, 15 times or something like that.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the last 15 hours of the ending of the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I gotta wrap it up before Evie hunts me down. So
Yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. Fiskate, why don't you tell people where they can find you and what you're doing?
You can find me on twitch.tv/fistcake, where I was going to have a schedule released today for this week, but nobody's like texting me back about what games we want to play and stuff. So I'll figure it out at some point. But
You'll get
I'm sure
on his Twitch,
I'm sure
on his Twitter account.
yeah, you'll see on Twitter. I'm sure me and Matt play some Monster Hunter. Will he play some Spire this week?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be a pip. I know there will be one stream every day. It might be an afternoon stream, evening stream. There'll be one stream a day. Also, I upload videos on YouTube sometimes. You can catch it out at youtube.com/c/fistcake, where last video I posted was actually the Adventure Complete thing, which you can listen to the latest episode of Adventure Complete on your favorite podcasting app or check it out on my channel. And yeah, and I have Twitter at the Fistcake. I tweet sometimes. You can catch me there. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find our information. We have our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel. It's both the same thing. It's twitch.tv/NeanderthalGamingTV and youtube.com/NeanderthalGamingTV. Most of the stuff that goes up on the YouTube channel is stuff from our Twitch. So we stream usually every day. Barring extenuating circumstances, and we've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire, a lot of Siege, Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. If you want the full name, if you don't know what our shorthand for Siege is. We've been playing. Obviously, usually it's Melee on Saturdays. Sundays is Smash 4. And then on Tuesdays we always do Into the Veil with Fistcake, and where we play Zero Time Dilemma, which this week, like we said before, might be the last week. But you can also follow us on Twitter at NeanderthalGTV. Any last words? Oh, wait, actually, let me go over the Content Complete specific information. I almost totally forgot.
I think we both accidentally merged it together.
Yeah, I know. So for Content Complete specific information, we have our Twitter account at ConComcast. That's where you can get information about the podcast, as well as Adventure Complete, which is our D&D podcast, which is what we're going to be doing this upcoming Saturday. Mm-hmm. We have our email, contentcompletecast@gmail.com. You can catch us for the podcast at twitch.tv/ConComcast live at 3 p.m. Pacific time on Sundays. All episodes are available on YouTube. The audio-only version is available on your favorite podcasting app, and both are released on Wednesdays. Okay, any last words now?
No, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We love you.
All right. Send it to the outro.
Peace.
Outro.
Oh, God.